Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the live stream. We got about 65 of you guys in the notification squad. Everybody who's joined in the last couple of minutes, I assume you've got those post notifications turned on because we haven't been starting soon for very long. I want to say hello to everyone, and I want to ask you if you guys have had a good day so far. How have your trades been going? What do you think about Bitcoin? As always, we're going to have a conversation tonight, guys. We're going to do some Bitcoin technical analysis. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have, hopefully, some deep, meaningful, hilarious conversations. Let's go ahead and catch up on chat here, guys. About 70 of us in the house right now. Let's go ahead and see if we can moon those likes to get the party started nice and early. We got about 11. Let's see if we can get that up to like 25 or so, guys. Let's go ahead and read some of the comments here. We say, Samillion1 says, Australia's here. Shout out to Australia and my brothers down under. We're coming out of Florida right now. Connie DC says, hi, Idle Coney from Florida. Hello from Florida as well. Peter says, hey, Jeb, hope you're doing well, mate. I'm doing fantastic, guys. Had a great day. Got a whole lot done. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, guys. I know I've been talking about that for a long time, and some things are really starting to come together. Really excited for the remainder of this year. I'm really excited for 2020, guys. As you know, there are a lot of people that are really successful, and they're worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're always saying this is just the beginning. I don't ever want to stop saying this is just the beginning, but guys, this is most definitely just the beginning. Jeb, with this live stream, should we go down? Guys, you know how it works. Every time we live stream, something crazy happens on Bitcoin. This live stream is going to be no different. I got my guys over in the trading department getting ready to crash the market for us. We got $100 million on the order books right now. I have to make that clear that that's a joke so someone doesn't sue me. Videotapes says, Jeb, how's it going? We going to the moon? Guys, we going to the moon. We going to the stars. We going to other galaxies. It might not be today, but it is going to happen. You guys know that I'm fully confident in the future of Bitcoin. I'm fully confident in what Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space has to offer to the world. I'm very, very happy with the development that's going on every single day, which is one of the reasons why we started doing these live streams, because I want to keep having conversations with you guys every single day if we can, to make sure that I'm caught up to speed and I really can feel the pulse of the cryptocurrency market. I want to make sure that I know what's going on, what you guys are interested in, which is why I love reading chat so much, is because you guys straight up give me that information. You tell me what you like about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So we're going to do a little bit of technical analysis here in about 10 minutes or so, probably about 5 to 10 minutes. I want to let some more people roll on in. I want to chat with you guys over there. Guys, if you have any friends that are interested in cryptocurrency, grab them. Grab your dog, grab your cat, grab your husband, grab your wife, grab your kids, grab your parents, grab your grandparents, grab the neighbor down the street who's a busybody and keeps getting all up in your business, and tell them to tune into the live stream. Videotapes also says, where are you from, Jeb? I was born in Tennessee. I live in Florida. From the States. Loud and proud. Fahim Munshi says, hi, Jeb. Is Bitcoin forming handle of Adam and Eve, which seems to be bullish? We'll look into that in a little bit. Let's see. Very busy day, but good. Same here, man. Been very busy today. Canada Baby says, videotapes. To the moon. The Netherlands is present. Shout out to the Netherlands and the Low Countries. Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out to Fort Worth, Texas. I was in Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport on the way back from Colorado, actually. You guys know that I was out in Colorado about a month ago right now, and on the way back, I had a layover in Dallas-Fort Worth. You guys have a crazy airport out there. That thing is ridiculously big. Goodness gracious. Peter says, Jeb, almost finished your CT2A course. Amazing, man. Great work. When will you be adding to it? Great question. One thing I'll go ahead and talk about real brief. I want to get to some TA before we talk a whole bunch about CT2A or anything. But to answer your question, that's really the next major thing I want to start working on. There's a lot of intricacies and back-end stuff that I have to deal with right now. I'm working on a bunch of business structure stuff. But one thing I do want to do is go through and revamp all the videos in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, add on to them, add more content, make them even better than they've ever been before, add more videos. I want to add a video on Kraken. I want to add a video on Bittrex. I want to add a video. I want to revamp the video on Bitfinex. I want to add a video on the VPVR. There's a lot of different content that I want to add to CT2A, so if you guys are interested in that, check the link in the description down below. That will be the first one. Jovan Biljan, Biljan, I did say that correctly, says, CryptoJeb, I know it's selfish, but I don't want your channel to grow much. This live chat will become bloated. Well, hopefully I'll be able to keep up with everybody. If it does become too bloated, there is something called slow mode that I can turn on, which will slow down the amount of messages that people can send per minute, which will allow me to really get to everyone. So guys, let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of Bitcoin technical analysis and really just see what we've been doing here, what Bitcoin's been doing here today. I've been really busy today with some business stuff, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and look at trade positions or even do a whole lot of technical analysis. So a lot of what we're going to be doing here today is going to be live. Of course, I had time to make this morning's video. I always make time for that, but I haven't had time to do much more. So let's go ahead and do some live technical analysis and really kind of see what Bitcoin is doing right now and where we think Bitcoin's going to go. Guys, one thing that I want to bring to your attention is basically the main way that Bitcoin's been moving here over the last couple of days. I'm going to go ahead and put my second monitor on something other than chat because I will keep getting distracted. So give me a couple minutes to get caught up on what we need to look at here, and then we'll go back to reading chat. Guys, there's a few things I want to talk about here. One of them has to do with this pattern right here, this descending triangle pattern that is at the top of this uptrend that Bitcoin has been in for basically the entirety of this year, starting back on February the 8th. This descending triangle pattern is concerning me. This is something I talked about in this morning's video. I do think that Bitcoin is looking relatively bullish for the end, up through till the end of the year, but we're going to have to see how this plays out because this is the decision point that I want to bring to your attention. You guys know I talk about decision points in cryptocurrency a lot, about whether or not something crazy is going to happen. A lot of times there will be a decision point, especially if you look in hindsight. It's pretty easy to tell that there's a decision point. I'll give you an example. In my humble opinion, the decision point that decided we were going to have a bear market and kind of set the stage for when that was going to happen was right here. You guys might say the decision point was up here. I'd say it was back here. Guys, if we look at this market back here, some very critical things happened with this pullback right here. If you go back to the very first video ever uploaded to this channel, it's a video called Is Bitcoin Overextended? That video was posted right here. And the concern I had in that video was that Bitcoin had not had a large enough pullback to warrant, to justify the amount of bullishness that we had just had here. Right here, we'd seen that Bitcoin had rallied 165% in the span of about 2 months, and we should have had one of our larger pullbacks. What we were typically seeing back here was a 40% pullback, as you can see, a 40% pullback right there. 40% pullback, and we were also seeing a pullback to the 100 simple moving average, that being right there and right there. What we would also do is we would typically get support at the 50 right here, we would fall below it, get above this level, get support, and then go on the rally again. Well, instead, with this pullback over here, Bitcoin had just had one of the largest rallies in recent memory, 150 plus percentage points, and we only had, instead of a 40% rally, guys, we only had about a 20% rally. If we go ahead and measure this, and I say rally, I meant downtrend, only about a 25% downtrend, and we only came down to this red moving average, the 50 moving average. Instead of going down to the 100, and instead of having that 40% correction, and being able to blow off some of that bullish momentum, and allow for the bears to have their moment, and allow the market to continue in a more healthy way, instead what Bitcoin did is it rallied another 240% over the next month, all the way up to all-time high, and we had our massive pullback. And it was very clear that $20,000 was strong resistance and that we were ridiculously overextended because we didn't stay up there for very long, guys. Bitcoin was trading up here for the span of a couple of days. So when we look back at our market, we need to remember that there are some critical things that we want to happen in our market. We want to make sure that Bitcoin has time to blow off that bearish steam, blow off that bullish steam, excuse me, and allow the bulls to turn into bears for a little while, sell some of their position, take some of those profits, reaccumulate cash, whether that be in Bitcoin or in their stable coins, or maybe they made profits from altcoin positions, and be ready to go back into Bitcoin positions and longing Bitcoin. We want people to be able to have a little bit of time to recuperate any losses that they may have made and to take profits if that's what they want to do. That's why you consolidate after a major rally. You're waiting to see if there's going to be a gigantic correction, or hopefully if the consolidation goes through and performs the way that it should, then you shouldn't have to see something like that. And that's what I'm very happy to see that we've seen here over the last couple of months, because as you guys know, every single day that passed through this, I was getting more and more scared because I was like, guys, there's going to be a pullback eventually. People were talking about Bitcoin going to $50,000 back here, and I was like, no, guys, this is getting a little ridiculous. Bitcoin needs a pullback. It needs to consolidate. That's the way this works. And now we're seeing that. I'm really happy to see that, but the way this consolidation plays out here is what's going to determine what comes for the rest of the year. Whether or not Bitcoin manages to break bullish here and move much further to the upside and start pushing higher now that we have had that consolidation, or if this consolidation continues to drag on as it has, Bitcoin starts breaking some crucial moving averages like this 50 moving average, and hopefully it doesn't, but if it breaks this 100 moving average, that would be really bad. If Bitcoin starts doing things like that, this little correction here, this rally, could actually turn into one of Bitcoin's biggest detractors. This could become something major. It could become something very bearish should Bitcoin actually go that far, should Bitcoin have a pullback like that. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen, so I want to be clear on that, but this is a decision point for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does have a pullback down here to a $9,000, $8,500, we're breaking that 100 simple moving average. Let me show you something. In the history of Bitcoin, when it's in bull markets, Bitcoin does not go below that moving average. Full stop. It doesn't happen. If we look over here, Bitcoin was above this 100 moving average for the entirety of this bull market. Now, we did go below it for a few days. I'm not talking about temporary tests. I'm talking about Bitcoin going below it permanently. And we did actually see that Bitcoin's below it a little bit here, so perhaps I should have included that. But in general, Bitcoin very rarely went below the 100 moving average. Back, if you go even further back, though, what you'll see is that Bitcoin will be below the 100 moving average almost entirely when you're in a bear market. Back over here during the accumulation phase, during the entirety of the bear market almost, Bitcoin will be below that moving average. So what I don't want to see happen is for Bitcoin to go below this gray moving average over here, the 100 simple moving average, and stay down there for a week or two, because that would be just adding lead to our shoes and pulling Bitcoin down and slowing the growth that I know we have the potential for. So that's what I want to see, guys. That's how I wanted to open the live stream and start with some technical analysis and talk about how I want to see Bitcoin have a bullish breakout here about a week from now, or within the next week, and start setting newer highs. I want to see Bitcoin above $12,400. I need to see Bitcoin breaking above this, but until it does that, if we come down here and start breaking this 50, I'm going to have to be bearish, guys, because that's what the market is showing you. One thing I also want to talk about is that a lot of people will just say, this is what I want the market to do. This is where I want the market to go. And a lot of times I say, this is what I want the market to do. And I think people misconstrue what I'm saying. That's just kind of a figure of speech. What I'm not saying is that I want this to happen, therefore that is going to happen. Because that's not the way that works. A lot of people, unfortunately, I think, and I see this quite a bit, they, and this isn't just in markets, this is just human nature, they want something to be true, so they look for evidence to make it be true. People want Bitcoin to be bullish, so they look for evidence that Bitcoin is bullish. People want Bitcoin to be bearish so they can open a short position, so they look for evidence that there's a short position. What you have to do is remember that whether Bitcoin rallies or Bitcoin crashes, you're going to be able to make profits either way. You're going to be able to make profits on a long position or a short position. If you want to make even more profits in an altcoin and overshadow the opportunity cost of not trading Bitcoin or holding Bitcoin, you can use leverage to get away with that. If you know what you're doing, be careful with leverage. The point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that I'm worried about Bitcoin. This is a decision point. I need to see how Bitcoin's going to play out over the next few days, whether we're going to have that bullish rally and we can stay above this 100 moving average, which, to be honest, is moving up a lot quicker than I would like to see. I'd like to see Bitcoin move up a little bit slower than it has this year so that we can lock in these gains and not have to go back to where we started. And the second thing is, guys, make sure when you're doing your technical analysis, you're looking for what the evidence is telling you. Don't go looking for evidence that supports your position. You have to go in with a blank slate, not caring about what the technical analysis is going to give you. You have to be unbiased. That is the gist of what I'm saying. So with all that said, and with the live stream already a few minutes in, let's go ahead and catch up on chat. If you guys did enjoy my little rant there, make sure you smash those likes. We're at 40 likes right now. We're getting close to 50. Let's see if we can go and smash those up and up and up and up and up. And also, guys, tell me in the chat, what are you feeling on Bitcoin? We've got this decision point right here. What is Bitcoin going to do? Are we going to have a bullish breakout? Are we going to have a good rest of the year? Or is Bitcoin going to start moving to the downside again? And are we looking for a sub $9,000 Bitcoin? We'll do some more analysis on each of those positions as the live stream goes on. But like I said, I do want to go ahead and get on with analyzing the chat this time. So guys, tell me in the chat anything you need to see. Michael says the wrong lines will F you up. You're absolutely right. Weekly had bullish engulfing candlesticks like the 40% corrections during there. Yep, that's one thing, and he's right. I know what he's talking about, actually. I think I know what he's talking about, actually. On these pullbacks over here, there were oftentimes bullish engulfing candlesticks. Right here, there was a bullish engulfing candlestick, and right over here. Over here, we also had a bullish engulfing candlestick, but he also just said the wrong lines will F you up. I would take that one step further and say the wrong indicators and looking at them in the wrong way will also mess you up in your trading and investing. If you were looking at this pullback over here on the weekly chart, and the only thing you cared about wasn't a bullish engulfing candlestick, that would have gotten you, because there are other indicators and you have to look at other indicators you have to look at further than that. And I'm obviously not criticizing what he said. He's absolutely right. That's something you want to look at for bullish engulfing candlesticks. We saw one right over here, for example, and let's see if we can find another example off the top of my head. Right here for a bottom. Also, bullish engulfing candlesticks, great bottoming patterns. We saw one right here, and we actually also saw one relatively recently. We talked about that in a video probably a week and a half ago. So let's go ahead back down here to the hourly chart. You guys know that Bitcoin likes to do crazy things while we're live streaming, so let's go ahead and have the minute chart up here while I watch chat. Not a whole lot of stuff going on over the last 2 days or so, guys. You know, Bitcoin's just trading sideways, consolidating, kind of deciding what it wants to do. Oftentimes, there's not a whole lot going to happen on the weekend because people who consider themselves professional traders and move a lot of the money in these markets are not going to necessarily be trading during the weekend. Now that we're moving into the week, we may start to see some more interesting movements. Andrew says more consolidation before a bull rally. I'm inclined to agree because of the fact that we didn't break bullish so quickly. I'm inclined to say that we're not just going to shoot straight through the moon. But guys, also, because we've been up here testing this level of resistance for so long, and because we haven't gotten flat out rejected, and because we haven't gone lower, I'm also inclined to say that the bulls are rather strong right now, which is why my position is relatively neutral, but also erring on the side of caution, erring on the side of the bears, because that is the argument that is currently winning. As soon as the bulls prove me wrong, though, I'm going to be fully on their side. We're very close to that. I just need to see a bullish break above about $12,400. That's the specific price level that I'm looking at, because I know a lot of you guys like specific price targets. That's the specific price target that I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and see here. Jeremiah said, big whale jab. Come on and tell us when we're moving the market. Guys, I already told you. Guys, I got my trading department in the bedroom next door. They got like $100 million they're about to dump on the market. So be careful for that. You might want to open a short position. You know, for anyone who didn't realize that was a joke, and also for anyone who didn't realize, I do also have my speakers on instead of my headphones. So let's go ahead and change that. It looks like we did just have someone subscribe to the channel, and that reminds me, Mr. or Mrs. Excuse me, Irina Buligina. I'm apologizing for butchering that name. I love trying to pronounce names, but oftentimes I'm not very good at it. You reminded me that if you guys do subscribe to the channel, if you're new here, make sure you do that. Smash that subscribe button. Your name will flash up on screen, and I will personally welcome you to the channel. Sometimes that doesn't flash your name up on screen. If it doesn't, tell us in the comments section, and everybody, in case I don't see them, make sure I am aware that they did that, because I will give you a shout out myself. So guys, if you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and also guys, make sure you smash those likes. It really helps out the channel, it really helps out the videos, really helps out the live streams. Make sure you smash those. Let's try and get up to about 100 likes. I want to see that happen. Let's see here. 21 weekly EMA will be the real weekly support. Totally agree. That's a really big one. Let's go ahead and look at that because I haven't looked at it relatively recently. This is an important moving average. It's one that I talk about in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I'll go ahead and bring that up for you, actually. The last video in CT2A is on the 20 weekly exponential moving average. Now, some people use the 21, some people use the 20. I use the 20 because it's a nice round whole number, and I expect that a lot of people will be using it as well. 21 moving average is going to give you basically the exact same signal, just a little bit off. But here in the course, as you guys who are in the course will know, the last video is on the 20 EMA, and in that video we talk about all the different time frames that this can be used on. This moving average is useful on just about every single time frame, from the short-term time frames all the way through the long ones. As you can see here, back in 2018, excuse me, back in 2016 and 17, Bitcoin rode this as support all the way up the bull market. So it wouldn't necessarily be bearish for us if we came down and tested that. We just have to be careful of that 100 daily moving average as well. So Jerry Dubonnet says, done, Jeb. I assume he's saying he subscribed to the channel, so welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if that's going to pop up. I don't know why it doesn't do it sometimes, but definitely welcome to the channel. What chart is this? I usually use Coinbase Pro. This is TradingView. If you guys are wondering why it looks different than it has in previous videos and why it looks like this, is because there are not grid lines. I've gone ahead and turned them off. This is what the chart will look like for a lot of the other YouTubers, and this is what it's looked like for 99% of the history of this channel. But I decided to go ahead and turn them off because I think it looks a little bit better when we don't have those. You can see here the chart's just a lot cleaner. I really like the way this looks. Let's see here. Signal forming now anytime. My money can just sit till the halving. Yeah, guys, I don't have any intention of selling my Bitcoin anytime soon. As you guys know, I've never sold a Satoshi of my cryptocurrency. But what I have done is ask you to smash that like button, so make sure you do that. Got to go ahead and throw in that little slick subscribe reference and the like reference. Stefan Fusco says, just subscribe, Jeb, so welcome to the channel. Everybody give him an F in the chat. because his life is now over. He's going to spend the rest of his life watching Crypto Jeb videos. I'm very sorry. You have signed your own fate. I didn't do it. I just don't sue me. That was not financial advice. And jokes aside, welcome to the channel, my friend. Good news today. I'm from New Zealand. Well, welcome, Mr. Islander. Welcome to the channel. Guys, tell me what you'd like to see covered during today's live stream. There's a lot that's been going on lately in my life with stuff that's going on behind the scenes, but I can't really talk about any of it because either it's not allowed to be talked about or simply it's just personal and I can't really get into it. So there's not a whole lot that's been going on lately that I can actually talk to you guys about. There's been a whole lot going on with the development of the business behind the scenes. I'm really excited for that. I don't like when banks say good news, reference Goldman Sachs. That's pretty funny. I can understand that. No one seems to talk about tax selling pressure nearing the end of the year. People mostly sell when they have profits. I think Bitcoin will go down. You know, it's interesting that you say that because I don't have the chart up in front of me. I can try and find it real quick. It's called the Bitcoin seasonality chart. Let's see if I can type out without a typo. I did it, guys. The Bitcoin seasonality chart. Let's see. This chart essentially shows what months Bitcoin performs the best in, and this is an average through several different years, and you're going to see this happen, and you're going to see this on a lot of different charts. This is kind of what we're talking about here. Typically, Bitcoin does the best during the later parts of the year. As the year goes on, the Bitcoin does better. Typically, Bitcoin performs very well moving into October, November, December. Those kind of months. The last 4 months, last third of the year, Bitcoin typically tends to do pretty well. If you look back on the history of Bitcoin, this one right here is one that I've looked at several times before, and a lot of times it'll kind of plateau here in the summer. The point is, the average returns tend to rally quite significantly in Q4 of the year, which is one of the other reasons why I'm expecting Bitcoin to do quite well here in the remainder part of the year, and why I'm feeling pretty bullish on Bitcoin if this decision point that we've been talking about goes over well. Hello from North Korea. Hello, Belp. Give us 1 wink for you're safe and 2 winks for the Emperor Babyface is holding you hostage. Hey Jeb, what are your price targets on the lower time frame, like the 4-hour, etc.? Good question. We'll go ahead and do a little bit more shorter term technical analysis. Like I said, guys, I haven't had a whole lot of time today to do TA, so a lot of this is going to have to be off the cuff. But I do want to go ahead and look at this because this is, of course, a live stream, so we can have the benefit of doing live technical analysis. And the very first thing that jumps out at me, because I'll be honest with you, this is the very first time I've looked at the shorter term time frames as I've been so busy today. This consolidation pattern, the second I pulled this up, I saw that. As you can see right here, guys, Bitcoin is in a bit of a consolidation pattern, or at least we have a downtrend of resistance and an uptrending level of support. One thing that I would say about this is that there's a little bit of a gap in here. There's not really a level up here to reconfirm this. There's kind of a lot of times when I'm looking at a level of support and resistance, and this is the kind of stuff that we get into in the course. I don't know if I talk specifically about this. Actually, I think I do in the course. I might talk about this in the support and resistance video. I can't remember. This video. I may talk about this in this video. But one thing I don't really get into in the videos is how I figure out where support and resistance lines are. And one of the things in the videos on the channel, rather, not the videos of the course. But one thing I like to look for is that there's not really big gaps in here. As you can see, Bitcoin hasn't really come up here and retested this a third time to really confirm this downtrend of resistance. Same thing over here. There's a big void. Not really feeling that. But still, we do have a downtrend of resistance and we do have an uptrend of support. That looks like it's coming to a climax here in the next couple of hours. This may have a breakout during the live stream. As you can see, Bitcoin is trending downwards right now and has been for the last half an hour or so. This comes to a peak around 1 a.m., so it's possible that we won't see this breakout today, but we're going to have to see how that breaks out. This is kind of one of those shorter term things that can lead to much larger and longer term ramifications. People sometimes will talk about decision points like I do, and oftentimes what you'll find is that the major decision points, if you look into shorter term time frames, you can track that decision point back to a very specific move in the market if you go deep enough. A lot of times, for example, if I could bring the 5-minute chart up on all the way back at like 2016, it's not 2016, when we were breaking below $6,000, I remember that happened in like 2 minutes. and that had massive ramifications. Bitcoin, I remember watching it happen. Actually, I take that back. I didn't watch it happen. I looked on it on the mornings. I'm pretty sure the break below $6,000 happened overnight when I was asleep. But I woke up and I look back here, and it's really hard to get short-term time frames all the way back here because you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. But the point is, this all happened in like the span of 2 minutes, and look at the ramifications that it had. This extended the bear market, and well, it really started the accumulation phase, but it extended the bearishness by several months, which actually ended up being a good thing for Bitcoin because it got it all out of the bear systems and the bull market started. This happened in the span of like 2 minutes. So a lot of times things that happen on very short-term time frames, every once in a while, can have really long-term ramifications, and what's going on right now might be an example of that. You said over $12,400 indicates bull. How low figure would indicate a clear bear? A clear bearish trend, in my opinion, would be there's two ways I'm going to answer that question. The first way I'm going to answer that question is on the longer term time frames because I'm more comfortable with those. And the shorter term time frames, like I said, I haven't had much time to look at today. As for the longer term time frames, the things that would indicate longer term bearishness and potential end of bull market scenario, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but these are potential things that could happen, would be Bitcoin falling below the 100 daily simple moving average and staying down there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and also Bitcoin falling below the 20 weekly moving average, which is a little bit lower than the 100 weekly, than the 100 daily. That's right down here. This is worst case scenario. If Bitcoin starts falling below this, which is currently around $9,000, that's very bad. That would be very clear bearishness, and I would be looking for Bitcoin to go to $6,000 or maybe even lower, guys. We'd probably get a bounce at 6K, and from there move to the upside again. But this could be kind of a out of left field type of move that you don't see happen a whole lot. So be careful for something like that happening. I'm not really concerned about that happening. That's not the most likely scenario, but things on the shorter term time frame most certainly can happen. If we were to see Bitcoin go below two moving averages, which are happening to converge right now, the 50 daily simple moving average and the 20 daily exponential moving average, I'll say those again so you can go put them up on your chart. The 50 daily simple moving average, this red line right here, and the 20 daily exponential moving average, that's this line right here. If Bitcoin starts really falling below these two, around $11,000, then I'm probably going to be expecting Bitcoin to pull back to around $10,000 to $9,500. We've talked about VPVR levels in the recent history, and right now the VPVR levels are kind of giving us support. But before we had all of this price action over here, Bitcoin's VPVR maximum was right there, which was around $10,600. This is a level of support I'd be looking for. That would also be a confirmation if we were to break that, then more bearishness was to come. So hopefully I didn't go through that too quickly. Hopefully you guys got some good value out of that. Looks like we're at about 220 viewers, guys. Let's go ahead and smash those likes. Let's get that above 100. And also, like I've said earlier, guys, if you are enjoying the live stream, make sure you smash that subscribe button. It's that little red button below the video. And guys, I promise you I won't delete your Minecraft account if you make a subscription to the channel. I promise you I won't steal your Netflix account. I won't do anything bad. If you hit that subscribe button, in fact, I will thank you. I will thank you here on the live stream. Your name will pop up on the screen somewhere in this-ish area, and I'll go ahead and give you guys a shout out. So if you're new to the live stream, you're new to the channel, and you want to see more daily content, more daily technical analysis, more daily news, make sure you smash that subscribe button for daily updates. And also, if you are subscribed to the channel and you aren't part of the notification squad, guys, you are just doing it wrong. You got to hit that bell down below so you'll be updated every single time a new live stream starts and every time a new video goes out. So guys, go ahead and do those things. I'm going to go ahead and catch up on chat. Can you please explain what you mean when you say you've never sold any Satoshis? Are you referring to your investment versus trading portfolio? Thanks. Good question, Scott Pearson. I will answer that in a very simple way. I have bought Bitcoin with US dollars, but I have never bought US dollars with Bitcoin. That's essentially the easiest way to put that. I have bought Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies with US dollars, but I have never sold cryptocurrency or any kind of other digital asset for US dollars. Now, I've sold it into stable coins, and actually, I guess you could say that I've sold it into US dollars on exchanges like Kraken when I'm trying to give myself a holding to actually make a new trade with. But the only time I've ever converted Bitcoin to either a stable coin or to US dollars was not to withdraw it from the cryptocurrency market. It was to re-enter the cryptocurrency market in a new buying position. So I've never sold Bitcoin in a way that sent money back to my bank account. If I put money into the cryptocurrency space, it stays in the cryptocurrency space and it doesn't leave. That's for my investing portfolio and my trading portfolio. And guys, we did just have a couple people subscribe, so I'm going to go ahead and give them their shout outs. We had T-Woo Park subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the channel. And I thought we had another one, but we didn't. So welcome, guys. If anyone else is subscribed to the channel and your name did not show up, make sure you tell me in the comment section. I've heard Jeb is building a crypto zombie army. I am building a crypto zombie army. That's what I gotta call you guys, actually. Guys, you are now henceforth to be known as the Crypto Zombie Army, and Jay Rard is the one that came up with that. Dre said, come kick it in the Discord with us, guys. Dre is a first cohort member over there. He's very enthusiastic and always in the chat. He's a really nice guy. You guys should go get to know Mr. Aeon Dre. He's also part of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I remember about a month and a half ago, I want to say it was, when you joined. Guys, go ahead and join the Discord server with the link in the description. We've got a great community over there, and I'd love to see your pretty face over there. New Zealand passed a law today to make it legal to pay citizens in crypto. It's funny you say that because we covered that in today's video. If you go to today's video, that is one of the things that we talked about later on towards the end. I remember in the video I said something really stupid, but I thought I was hilarious. I said, remember the 1st of September, for it was the day that Bitcoin became legal tender. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and we cut all of it out because I'm really just not that funny. Anyway, Useless says, I subbed. Welcome to the channel, my friend. I'm not sure why it didn't show up. Like I said, I don't know why Streamlabs sometimes doesn't do that, but welcome to the channel nevertheless. JR says, we are it. Guys, you're my crypto zombie army. I'm going to need you guys' help here over the next coming months because, guys, I love live streaming. I love spending time with you, but committing to doing 6 live streams a week with like 2 hours of that's a big commitment for how busy I already am. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying it, guys. There's not a minute during these live streams that I am not enjoying my time, but it is a big commitment because this falls right into what would normally be either my relaxation time or my socializing time. So hopefully we'll have some fun here over the rest of the year, and hopefully we can get to a position where we might be able to continue this on into the new year. Is there anything going to happen? Is there anything going to happen? Is there going to happen anything in the next days because it's so boring right now? Good question. I really think that we might see something happen here over the next 8 hours or so with this consolidation pattern that I drew a little while ago. We might see a breakout of this, guys, but one thing you also have to remember is that on these shorter term charts, one of the reasons I don't cover them as much in the videos is not just because the videos only go out once a day and they can't necessarily always be up to date on the 5-minute chart. It's also because sometimes these patterns down here don't get respected as much as they do on the longer term time frames, simply because on longer term time frames there's more time for a certain piece of technical analysis to penetrate the market and make sure that everybody is aware of that pattern. And that's not necessarily true for the 5-minute chart. Everybody might not be familiar with this. There's a lot of people making trades on the longer term time frames that are just completely disregarding this, which adds noise to the shorter term time frames. There's all this kind of nuance that goes into charting and that goes into technical analysis. You have to keep that in mind, but I do have a feeling there's going to be a breakout here. We did also just have someone subscribe to the channel, Mr. Donald Campbell. Thank you for having a name that I can pronounce, but guys, I do like the challenge, so if you have a crazy name, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I love pronouncing crazy names. Welcome to the channel, my friend. What do you think the best time frame to use for day trading is, in my opinion, says New Amin. Good question. That's one that we get quite a lot, but I'll be brief in answering that. For day trading, for intraday trading, I would say that that's really going to depend on the patterns you're looking at. You could be looking at the daily chart because there could be some kind of major pattern developing and you want to make a quick trade on it. Or you could be looking at much shorter term time frames like the 5-minute chart. What I think is going to be important is analyzing where those patterns are, where the important technical analysis is, and moving from there. It's not one of those things where I'm going to be able to give you a general answer. I can try to help you figure out where those are. For example, let me show you an analogy that I used recently on a question like this. Some people were asking me what time frame should we be looking at this rally on, and I gave them the answer that it's probably the 4-hourly or the hourly chart. And the reason I said that was because, as we can see here, Bitcoin was basically riding the 20 EMA through the majority of this, and when Bitcoin fell below it, that was the decision point that allowed Bitcoin to go lower. And Bitcoin, it tested that as support, and it failed, and it fell lower. By the way, this right here, if this breaks bullish, is going to be a bullish break above the 20 exponential moving average on the 4-hourly chart, and that would indicate short-term bullishness. So that's something I want to bring up. But also, as you can see, Bitcoin is using technical indicators. It's moving specifically moving averages on this chart, and it was also using some different oscillators down here. So the 4-hourly chart was probably the right trend to be using for this 7-day long uptrend. If we were looking at a consolidation pattern in contrast to that, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to be looking at this pattern here on the 4-hourly chart because you're just not going to have enough resolution. The moving averages aren't going to be able to react quickly enough. There are important things to look at out here. So in general, what I would say is that that's really going to kind of come down to that gut feeling that we talk about here in CT2A. Is really going to kind of come down to what forces are moving the market at the time that you're looking at the market. Try to look at it like that. That's going to have to be something that's going to be variable. Jeb says, do you trade options, and will you be adding any info on this in CT2A in the coming future? Peter said that. The answer to your first question is no, I don't trade options, but also the answer to your second question is, will I be adding any info on this on CT2A in the coming future, is this. A lot of people ask me this question, and when we go through and we update the sales page and everything, and I make a new landing page for CT2A, which is something we're working on also behind the scenes, there's going to be a lot more FAQs in there, because that's one of the common questions we get is what is taught in this course applicable to the rest of markets? Is it applicable in Forex, commodities, etc.? Guys, the vast majority of technical analysis, it's technical analysis. It's going to be important no matter what market you look at. Support and resistance is going to be true for Japanese markets, for American markets, for gold markets in Kamchatsky, Russia, or I don't think there's a stock exchange in Kamchatsky, but you get what I'm saying. It really doesn't matter what market you're looking at or where that market is based. Technical analysis is technical analysis, and it's going to be important no matter where you look. The nuances of how to use the exchanges are going to be different, but that's the kind of information you can find online, where you don't have to go and get the information from a certain place. I mean, some of this stuff up here, you can find a little bit of this stuff online, like how to set up a Binance account is not something you need to pay me to teach you. I only have this for completeness so that beginners can learn this. This entire introductory my dog is shaking. This entire introductory section of the course and all of the technical indicators, this stuff is not even used in the pricing structure of the course. I price the structure purely off of these videos down here in technical analysis. So if you want to get into the stock market and into options and everything, it definitely would be a boon to that. Challenged Investor giving another donation, a donation of $2. Thank you very much. Says Bitcoin looking great on the 2-day over the 21-day exponential moving average. Let's go ahead and look at the 2-day. I very rarely look at the 2-day because in general people don't do a whole lot of technical analysis on it. But I will go ahead and say that Bitcoin does look relatively bullish on this. And actually I hadn't noticed this because, like I said, I don't really look at the 2-day. But Bitcoin does look like it got some very, very well-defined support on this 20 exponential moving average down here. You can learn something every day. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to run these live streams. We got a lot of support down here. Bitcoin did breach that support recently, but of course we're back above it now. I completely agree with you. That is looking very good, and that does look quite bullish to me. Let's go ahead and make sure I didn't miss any subscribers. I didn't. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're going to give you a personal shout out here on the stream, and you're also going to be able to be notified through your subscription feed every single time a new video goes out and every time a new live stream goes out, so you can keep up with the technical analysis and the news here in the cryptocurrency space. Edward says, besides TA, you also need experiences of Bitcoin to gain your intuition, and that's why one of my favorite videos in CT2A is the video on gut feeling, because understanding that you're going to need to have a gut feeling of what the market is going to do, that is so incredibly valuable. And people conflate gut feeling, and the way I talk about that sometimes, they conflate that with, oh, you're saying to trade off of your emotions. That's not very good advice. Well, first of all, this is not financial advice, and second of all, jokes aside, it's not that. I'm not saying to trade off of your emotions when I say take into account your gut feeling. I'm saying take into account what your instincts are telling you. There's a reason that when a baby is born, or when a tiger is stalking its prey, the only thing that's really guiding those two creatures, the newborn baby and the tiger, are its instincts. They don't really have anything else, but guess what? Guys, tigers have been around for millions of years. Lions have been around for millions of years. All these creatures have been around for far longer than we have, and we have these big old brains, and we're getting ready to destroy ourselves with nuclear weapons or whatever. But these animals have been around for millions of years working off of nothing but their instinct. So you can have all of these technical indicators. You can have all of the technical indicators in the world. You can have 1 billion circles up on your chart. You can have all the oscillators you want. But if you don't have a gut feeling for what's going to happen, and you don't have an instinct, you are going to fail flat, full stop. So guys, you have to be able to use that intuition, as Edward put it. You have to have that gut feeling. You have to have that instinct. And you're only going to get that by analyzing these markets and trading these markets and watching these markets. So that's why it's so important you guys do that. Papa Schultz says, new sub here. Dude, my friend, welcome to the channel. I do apologize that didn't show up on screen. I really need to look into that. I'm not sure why it doesn't do that. I'm going to see if there's anything I can do about that. Welcome to the stream, and welcome to the channel. I'm very happy to have you here. Can we give it up for Papa Schultz in the chat? My instinct is we go up tonight. My instinct is we'll see what happens. Right now we're pretty neutral. I'm not really going to put a big prediction out tonight. Let's see. Oh, Don Johnson says, would it be wrong to ask you for an update on the negative 10K dude? You said on Sunday's vid that people were going to try to reach out to help him. I was in here that night, and you handled it perfectly. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate situation. I hope everything went all right with them. We were talking in the Discord server after the live stream ended with some people like Dre and Scott too. I forget all the numbers in his name, but we had J-Tess in there also. And we decided that, it'd probably be pretty cool to try and get him in there and make sure that he's okay. So I actually posted to the channel. Let me get the community tab open real quick. We posted to the community tab, or I posted to the community tab, that I'd like to get him in the Discord server. I said to our friend from the live stream who lost $10,000 on Bitfinex, we want to talk to you. Join the Discord server. We're here to support you. That was a day ago. That was actually like almost 2 days ago when that went out. But I don't think he ever joined. I had to leave the Discord server relatively soon after that because, I had to sleep. So I'm not really sure what ended up happening to him. Guys, I hope everything was fine. I think he was. Like I said, I wasn't worried that he was going to do anything, but I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about that topic because that's not something that is ever discussed in cryptocurrency, and it's something that definitely deserves more attention because it's a real problem. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, says J-Rard. Do you think whales may be absorbed by the market anytime, and other sort of whales will come to rule Bitcoin? Do you think whales may be absorbed by the market anytime? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Dre said, haven't seen him to my knowledge, and Dre is in the chat 24/7, so we'll see that. Excuse me. Rudolph says, Jeb, you don't use Fibonacci retracement. We'll bring up some Fib here. I do it on the side. I don't bring it up in the videos very often because a lot of times you're going to see that people are arguing all the time about where the Fibonacci level should be. But I will go ahead and bring it up and mute my phone as well. Because as you can see, Bitcoin recently actually... And try to mute my phone if I can get it to open. Sorry, Taylor. I'm having to mute you real quick. I'm going to read that here in a second. I don't know. She might be watching the live stream, actually. If you guys don't know, Taylor's my editor and a good friend of mine. But no, we actually do talk about Fibonacci levels quite a bit in the course. This is the second video on technical indicators. I think Fibonacci levels are very important, especially on the longer term time frames. And I suppose I should have talked about this in a more recent video. But after we've had our bottoms down here, one of the reasons why we've capped out here is because right around $12,100 is actually the 61.8% Fibonacci level. If you guys don't know, you get Fib levels from calculating Fibonacci numbers. You got 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Let's see how far I can go. 55. 55, 84. I'm losing it. Anyway, Fibonacci levels are very important, and I think they're overused for one, but if you know where to put them and it's very clear where they should go, then they're extremely powerful, and honestly more powerful than you'd think they would be, but they are very useful. Dre says, hello, Taylor. Let's see. What did she text me? I don't know if that had to do with business or not. Okay, so that was kind of business, kind of not business. Anyway, I got that off. Let's see. How do you use Elliott waves? Very confusing indicator. Elliott waves are very confusing, guys, and honestly, I've looked into them, and they've never seemed to do a whole lot for me. A lot of people talk about them, and honestly, guys, you may have noticed this about the channel. I'm not exactly a bare-bones technical analyst, but I don't use a whole lot of technical indicators because I don't feel you really need all of that. And a lot of times you can kind of... I would rather train my gut and like that artificial intelligence that lives in your stomach to try and understand the markets in a way that it's going to really be able to predict what the market's doing rather than having to rely on technical indicators. Because as far as I'm concerned, most technical indicators are a crutch. And if you have an intuition for the market, that's better than any indicator. And it's easier for you to train that gut if you're not constantly feeding it signals from technical indicators that may or may not be right, by the way. Where's the Fibonacci tool in TradingView? I'll go ahead and switch to my other view so you guys can see this. We'll go to full screen, and that actually didn't help, did it? But anyway, over here, let's see. Right below, I don't want to mess with the formatting of the screen so you can bring it up. Can I extend this? I don't think I can. Well, anyway, there's three tools. You have the mouse right here. See where my mouse is? I know you can see that because I have the preview up. Let me switch to my other scene. You have the mouse tool right here in TradingView. Then you have the line tool right here. the line tool, if you bring that up, it just has all these different things like trend lines. And then you have this tool right below the line tool. It has pitchfork, shift pitchfork, excuse me. You go all the way down here to Fibonacci retracement. Then you can drag the top out and then all the way to the bottom, and then go ahead and set that. That's how you get Fibonacci retracement, my friend. Hopefully that was clear enough. Like I said, I don't want to go and screwing around with the scaling of everything on stream because it's confusing. JTest has an interesting view on Elliott. I don't think I've ever seen him talking about Elliott. What is his take on that? Thoughts on the stochastic indicator, please? I don't often use stochastic, but I have used stochastic RSI quite a lot. I think it's a stochastic RSI anyway is, in my opinion, a much more snappy version of RSI. I haven't found it to be very useful here over these last couple of months, so I haven't really been using it a whole lot. You may have noticed it's not down here at the bottom like it used to be. Free Hat says, hey Jeb, but what is your gut feeling saying? Don't give us this neutral BS. All right, well, let's see here, guys. The reason I said neutral is not BS. The reason I said neutral is because a couple things have happened here over these last couple of weeks. We've had Bitcoin go into a major rally, which is giving me a bullish feeling. It's making me feel like Bitcoin wants to have a breakout. It's making me feel like Bitcoin wants to move to the upside. Furthermore, Bitcoin has been trading up here against this resistance zone. If we were to draw this, it'd be a zone in between about here and about here. Bitcoin's been trading up here in all of this for the last couple of weeks, and Bitcoin really hasn't had a breakout. That being said, as you guys know, when Bitcoin goes and tests a level of resistance or a level of support over and over and over and over and over again, time and time and time again, when it does that, oftentimes that's an indicator that you're looking for a breakout. And it's oftentimes an indication that Bitcoin is trying to break that level or that zone of resistance. Those two factors are giving me a bullish feeling. That also being said, the fact that Bitcoin has not broken bullish here is a little bit concerning. So I'm not really sure what I should believe right now, guys, because we had an opportunity to go bullish here, but instead of breaking to the upside, we broke to the downside. And perhaps subconsciously I'm giving this too much credit. I'm saying that this breakout means too much. Maybe I'm doing that. But guys, I'm really not BSing you when I say I'm feeling kind of neutral in the market, because right now, I just want to see how Bitcoin breaks this consolidation pattern and whether or not we start trending to the upside or the downside. Because over the last couple of days here, Bitcoin's basically been trading sideways. And that's not really giving me any kind of indication or any kind of data that I can work with. So Bitcoin's really just looking relatively neutral right now. I'm feeling bullish, maybe a little bit more bullish than bearish, but we're going to see where that leads us because I can't be sure with the amount of data coming from the market that I have. Speaking of all that, though, we do have a new subscriber. BWW Irving has subscribed to the channel. Welcome, my friend, to the channel, and welcome to the live stream, guys. If anybody here in the live stream is new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button, guys. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis, and nowadays pretty much daily live streams as well. So make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's that little red button below the live stream, and like I said, guys, I promise you it won't charge you a penny to go ahead and smash that. Mike Johnson said, Crypto Jeb, that middle finger formation could be a sign that this whole thing is for naught. Lol, but I hope we go to $20,000 plus. He's talking about this over here. As you guys can see, Bitcoin was giving us the bird, and Bitcoin had a little bit of a correction after that. You might be right, but the fact that Bitcoin bounced so quickly and bounced back up here above where that crash started just a couple days later gives me a feeling that Bitcoin was probably either neutral or trying to go to the upside from there. Excuse me. Ali Warwar said, keep online 13 minutes. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be streaming through the day close here in 13 minutes. When will dollar collapse? That's an interesting question, not one that can be answered very specifically. If world currencies start collapsing, the dollar will be probably one of the very last ones to collapse, though. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the dollar is the world reserve currency. So many other currencies are dependent on it. So many other countries use that currency, and that currency is very, very heavily monitored, and if it started to hyperinflate, it would probably be fixed or at least had a band-aid put on it. Anything that would cause the dollar to collapse would probably cause most other economies in the world to collapse before the dollar and the United States did. If that was going to happen, it would probably happen to the dollar last. Did you draw in the red and blue lines? Is there a tool that does that automatically? I do that manually. What I do here is I just go ahead and I have a blue picked out for support. It's just down here at the bottom. You guys can see that, I think, right down here. I just picked that blue for support and then this red right here for resistance, just to try and make it a little bit easier on the eyes. There's no tool that does that. I just do that manually. Just got here. If you looked at the last weekly close, it being the highest close since January 2018. Let's go ahead and look at that. The weekly close is definitely the highest since 2018. We did see that it closed higher than these over here because most of the price action that happened back during these weeks was happening during the wicks. One thing I do want to mention, though, guys, is that just because we've had a weekly close up here doesn't mean a whole lot, because even though you can't see it on the weekly chart, there is a lot of substantial price action happening up here. So I wouldn't put a ton of weight on this, but it is definitely a point in favor of the bulls. I'm not going to discredit that, but it's something that we want to keep an eye on, but I'm not totally convinced that that is like the most important piece of technical analysis. Mr. Gutierrez has subscribed to the channel. Welcome, my friend, Mr. Gutierrez. I hope you're having a very wonderful day. Guys, if you want to shout out, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and also make sure you tune into the daily videos. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis and daily live streams pretty much on pretty much every single day except Sunday. So guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and see here. What is resistance? James Cox asked, what is resistance? Resistance is basically when the market goes up and hits its head on something. So pretend you're in a room that's 4 feet tall and you're 6 feet tall. And instead of sitting on your butt all day, you decide, hey, I want to do that cool thing that everybody and all the hip new kids are doing and called standing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up in this 4 foot tall room, and I'm 6 foot tall. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to hit my head right here on this ceiling. When a market does that, that's called resistance. When you hit your head and then you jump up in pain and then you come down, you smack your butt on the floor, that's called support. And that's essentially what Bitcoin does here on these blue lines. Bitcoin smacking its butt down here on support, and it's getting support. And when it comes up here to one of these red lines, it's hitting its head and saying ouch and kind of rejecting off of it and saying, hey, I don't want to do that again. So that's essentially what support and resistance is. If I were to describe it to a 3-year-old. Andre said, hey, Jeb, just wanted to tell you I really resonate with the message you try to pass about the negative $10,000 guy. I also got a bit depressed for almost 1 month after losing $4,500 in a trade. It's a lot for me. Totally, man. It's crazy how much emphasis people put on money in their lives, and it's really sad too. But at the same time, guys, I came from a relatively hard start. A lot of people have. So losing a bunch of money like that, even if it doesn't put you in a bad financial position, can completely cripple you emotionally. And I'm not going to have people berating someone who's going through a situation like that by saying, hey, you need to grow up. Hey, you need to not make that mistake again. Hey, you need to do better next time, or not invest that much, or have a better stop loss, or not trade with leverage. Because don't you think the guy knows that? Is that really the best time to go and tell him that? No, it's not. Anyway, guys, we do have a new subscriber to the channel, Mr. Andres Munoz. Welcome, Andres Munoz. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Tell me in the chat if I am. I'm pretty sure I'm getting the first name right, but tell me if I'm pronouncing the last one wrong. Guys, we've had a lot of new subscribers to the channel recently. What I want you to do is, if you are a new subscriber to the channel, new meaning you're new here in the last month or so, give us a 1 in the chat. I want to see how many new faces we have here, because I know I recognize a lot of you, but at the same time, we definitely do have some newer people here in the chat and here in the live streams over these last couple of days. Really enjoying the live streams, guys. We're definitely going to keep these going. James Cox says, thanks, Jeb. No problem, my friend. By the way, it sounds like you're a little bit newer to cryptocurrency. If you want, you can check out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in the description down below. I'm not going to harp on about it too much, but it is something that would help if you are newer to the space. You need a little bit of guidance. I remember when I was first getting in the space, it was very confusing. It was very, very confusing, and it took quite a bit of time. Someone says monies. It's funny you say that, because I like to fiddle with things on my desk. I need to move this cash. I keep fiddling with this cash that's on my desk. What's your what your stop loss percentage set if you are leveraging? That is going to depend completely and totally on the trade that you're making. I mean, the first rule of thumb is to always have your stop loss percentage be above your liquidation price. If you're going to get liquidated at $11,000, your stop loss needs to be above $11,000. But if you're going to, you want your stop loss to be in a place where you're not going to get stopped out too early, but you're also not going to get liquidated. That's pretty much the way to do it. If you can't get your stop loss low enough that you don't think you're going to get stopped out prematurely, so that it's not below your liquidation, that means you're using too much leverage or you're making the wrong trade. That makes sense. If your stop loss has to be at a place, like let's say that we had these two bottoms down here, but this is the actual bottom of the uptrend. If we have to have our stop loss right here at $11,200, but we're going to get liquidated at $11,250, this is our liquidation price, and this is our stop loss price, then guys, your stop loss is in the wrong place and you're using too high of leverage, because the lower leverage you use, the lower this liquidation price is going to be. So you need to make sure that you're doing that right. If you are not very experienced in the market and you don't know full well what you're doing, don't use leverage. Just don't. You're gonna make a mistake. You can lose so much money. If you want to learn how to use leverage, do it with a very small amount of money that you can afford to lose, and an account that you're not willing to that you're willing to have bad things happen to should something terrible happen. We need 500 peeps in here to support the Jeb Zombie Army, guys. As of earlier today, JRR has decreed that we are all members of the Zombie Army, of the Bitcoin Zombie Army. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you can join the Crypto Jeb Bitcoin Zombie Army. Alex says, just join the Discord. It says it's reading only. Am I doing something wrong? It says it's reading only. It's not allowing you to type, you mean? Because if there is, I'll go ahead and check the server. There should not be a integration on there. I haven't looked at the back end of the Discord server in so long. What am I looking for? Members. There's supposed to be a way that you can. Oh, you know what it is? Because I'm streaming, and Discord automatically has streamer mode enabled. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, well, I can't look at that on stream because I'm gonna have to fiddle around in there. Give it 5 minutes. There may be a 5-minute timer on there, and you'll be able to chat. If not, just shoot me an email, and we'll try to get that fixed for you. I lose the 5K with leverage. After that, I really learn how to use it. Yeah, guys, it's a great idea to lose money, because that way you are not going to make the same mistake twice. But try not to lose that much money. You don't need to lose that much money. You don't need to do that. Make sure you're trading with a small amount of leverage if you're just getting into it. Hey Jeb, what do you think about holding on Robinhood? I looked up how much Bitcoin they own and couldn't find anything. I haven't looked into Robinhood myself because they just don't have a service that I need. But at the same time, guys, as far as I know, I don't think you're in possession of your own private keys on Robinhood, so I would be very careful about holding your private keys on there. As far as everything else is concerned, I can't really comment on it because I've never used it, and I don't like doing that, which is why I don't do a bunch of exchange reviews or anything, even though those are probably ranked really well with YouTube. If using high leverage, don't bet the farm. Just use a fraction of your stack. Better leverage. A better strategy is to put more in the pot and use lower leverage. You'll make a lot over time, even with a few X. Really, very true, DataBiter, which is one of the reasons why I'm okay with, using Kraken, even though it has 5x leverage, is because I can just increase the amount of cryptocurrency that I put into that trading portfolio, and I'll be perfectly fine, guys. I'm gonna be right back. By the way, my dog's acting like she needs out, and I want to go ahead and let her out. So I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, guys. May also get a drink. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. We did have a donation come through while I was gone. Looks like Jaxie donated £5. Thank you very much for the donation. It says BZA for the win. Good luck out there, everyone. Safe trading. Thank you very much for the donation. Tell me in the chat if BZA is a cryptocurrency. Maybe we can look at that. Look at that chart real quick for you. Let's see. Crypto Zombie, Data Dash, don't know anything about Crypto Zombie, but Data Dash, Nicholas Merton over there, he knows what he's talking about. He's a good channel to be subscribed to. He's also, I think, the biggest cryptocurrency YouTuber in the space. Went and got myself a Gatorade while I was gone. A lot of people talking about other YouTubers in there. I'll go ahead and throw my 2 cents in there. If you guys are looking for other YouTubers that you also want to subscribe to, make sure you join the newly founded Crypto Zombie Army. But if you're looking for other YouTubers to supplement your daily diet of Jeb, you can also check out Carl from the Moon. He's a really good channel, does very similar content to me, and I think he does great work. Definitely does really good work over there. I remember he He got started after I did, but actually surpassed me in subscribers. I remember I recorded him hitting 50,000 subscribers and sent him that video as a token of goodwill. We've talked several times. He and I, we're not really buddies or anything, but we do know each other. And he's a really good guy. Go check out his channel. I don't know how much Peter Saddington at Decentralized TV does anymore, but if he's still very active, go check him out. He's very wealthy in the cryptocurrency space. He does a lot of mining. He really knows what he's talking about. He also does daily like hangout live streams. People are asking me what I think of Crown. I know that Crown's come up very quickly, but I haven't really caught him. I haven't really watched a whole lot of his content. And now we're getting a bunch of arguments about OpticalArt.com. Guys, if you want to talk about other YouTubers, I don't really have a problem with that because I'm not the jealous type. But at the same time, don't go bad-mouthing people. Because people have been bad-mouthing Optical Art because they disagree with them. I disagree with them, but you're not going to see me bad-mouthing him, so let's not do that. Fib circles, please. We'll become the Lord of the Rings also. I'm not throwing any shade at Optical Art, but that is a really funny name that people have given him. The Lord of the Rings. That is, oh man, that's hilarious. If you guys don't know, Optical Art was actually a... before he started making videos on YouTube, he was always commenting on my videos and talking about his predictions with his circles. And because I didn't have any pictures yet, I was like, what in the world is this guy talking about? He's like, this circle's going to cross this circle. And I was like, a circle's going to go through another circle and something's going to happen. I didn't have any idea what he was talking about, but now he talks about it a lot. By the way, guys, I still don't understand the at the water cooler meme. Can someone explain that to me? Because people say that all the time. Carl with the Moon is well worth a subscribe. He was actually, when he was getting his Discord server set up, I was talking to him and helping him set that up and get the structure and everything set up. I was helping him with some, for example, his Patreon private server. I was helping him because everybody could see that and he didn't, and he thought it was private. So he and I have a little bit of a pass together. He's a nice guy. Definitely. He's one of those people where when you're looking for someone to do something for you, do a service for you, like doing technical analysis or doing chart reading, it's really important that the persona that they put on on YouTube matches who they really are. That's something that really upset me about one YouTuber in particular, and I won't name their name. They were one person on YouTube, completely different person behind the scenes, and tried to guilt trip me into something. I was like, no. But Carl's not like that. Carl's the exact same guy on camera as off camera. Definitely someone who's worth a follow as well. Crypto Jeff at the water cooler is from Crypto Kirby channel. It's a saying he uses. At the water cooler is to describe Joe and Jim's six pack. Okay. James at the water cooler comes from Crypto Kirby. I didn't know that came from Kirby, guys. I played a lot of Kirby. I just clicked the wrong button. I got my Streamlabs right next to that. I need to move that. There we go. Because we did just have a subscriber. Pray TJE, Pray the 87 has subscribed to the channel. Welcome, my friend. Guys, make sure if you want a shout out to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We'll give you a shout out here on stream. And also you'll be updated every time a new video goes out. Hit the notification bell so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes out, because sometimes videos and live streams won't actually show up in your subscription feed. Make sure you do that so I can see your pretty face here again for the next one. Guys, also, if you're enjoying the live stream, let's go ahead and moon those likes. Let's put those likes on a rocket ship and see if we can get them to 200. Really interested to see that. At the water cooler is about gossiping. Oh, I thought when you said James at the water cooler to someone, you were telling them they were stupid. I have no idea. I like Carl at the moon, but don't let his intro fool you. There is no wind on the moon. Hey, you know, they had those videos from the moon, and it looked like the flag was shaking. I'm completely joking. He was moving it around with his hand. Yeah, Carl's a good guy. He knows what he's talking about. Crypto Kirby is hilarious. His name is Kirby. Guys, I played so much Kirby back in the day. Dude, I still have the theme song stuck in my head. It goes do 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 do. I love that game so much. I love that game so much. I played the crap out of that. I don't have any idea how old I was. I completely forget. Anyway, we had a couple more people also subscribe to the channel. Mr. Awakening Our Truth and John Leclerc have subscribed to the channel. Welcome both of you to the channel and welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for the subscription. It helps out the channel when you do that. It also helps out the channel when you smash that like button. Let's see here. Is Crypto Jeb long Bitcoin, Kanger said. That's a good question. Guys, I've been trying to get into a long position for the last week. I've been looking for Bitcoin to go above 12.2, and then I was going to enter a 5x leverage position and ride that to like 13 plus. I've been looking for that trade, and I haven't gotten it yet. I may try to make a trade on this and set it up overnight for this breakout, but unfortunately this breakout's more than likely going to happen when I'm asleep, and as a rule, I try to avoid having leverage positions open while I'm asleep because I like to watch them as they play out. So I may not be able to trade this breakout right here, but it is one that I would like to trade out, the breakout on, because it's a relatively easy one to set up. When you're trading a breakout, it's not very hard to set up. It's not very hard to be safe with it. So I am looking for a long, but I'm not done. Seriously, I almost got triggered by that Windy Moon joke. That was pretty funny. Were you watching in the 9Ks? I'm watching $9,000 right now for rallies. I guess you're meaning back here. I didn't make a whole lot of trades back then because I was working on a lot of other things. And also, I wasn't completely sure that we were going to have the bottom in here. But now, it's one of those things where if you have a consolidation pattern, it's a very safe trade to make. Guys, I went to a chicken place. I went to a Chinese food place today, and they had these wontons there. And if you guys have ever had Chinese food, you probably had a wonton. Oh my gosh, wontons are amazing. Oh man, completely off topic, but I love myself some wontons. Those things are amazing. You dip them in the duck sauce. And my friend that I was there with asked me, Jeb, how do they make duck sauce? And I said, well, here's what they do. They take a live duck, and they put it in a blender, and they turn it on, and the duck begs for forgiveness for about half a second, and then half a second later you have duck sauce, and that's how they make duck sauce. And, yeah, it tastes so good because the duck is suffering. I have a demonic mind. What is a 5x leverage position? Essentially, Mike Johnson, when you're using 5x leverage, if you have $1,000, pretend you're trading with $5,000. That's what a leverage position does. And you have a liquidation price that stops the exchange from losing all that money that you have to say above. Challenge investor and donated another $2. Says what exchanges can U.S. citizens use for leverage? To my knowledge, there is only one. And if there are any others, guys, tell me in the chat over there. I'm not sure. But as far as your question, the only answer I can give to you is Kraken. Kraken has up to 5x leverage for the United States. Now you can use Bitfinex. You can use Bitfinex. We'll go with it, guys. You can use Bitfinex. Bitfinex/BitMEX in America if you use a VPN. Actually, I don't think you can with Bitfinex because they have KYC, but BitMEX I know you can. And I've also never used Bitfinex either, so I wouldn't know. But I know you can use BitMEX, excuse me, if you have a VPN. I would not recommend you doing that because if they find out that you're using a VPN and you're in the States, as far as I'm aware, they can pretty much do whatever they want with the money you have on exchange. So if you want to be safe and you want to do it the right way, make sure you have an exchange on Kraken. That's a great place to do leverage trading. It's not my favorite user interface or anything, but it's the only one. If there was another one, I may look into it, but Kraken generally does what I need it to. This is not the duck you were talking about 2 days ago. What if it is J-Rard? What if it is? What if that was Hubert? What would you guys say if I ate Hubert? Kraken has often nasty wicks, so using stop loss can be triggered. Likelihood of hitting the 200 EMA on the 4-hourly. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. I haven't looked at the 200. Oh, you said the 200. Yeah, you said the 200. Let's look at this. The 200 EMA on the 4-hour. This is one that Bitcoin's been getting a lot of support on as well. It looks very similar to other exponential moving average we've been using, but this one is definitely one that Bitcoin's been trading a lot. This is sitting around $10,800, and funnily enough, there are some other major levels of support I'm looking at down there. If we go out to the daily chart, there are more moving averages I'd be looking at. One of them around $10,900 to around $10,000. To around $11,000 is the 50 simple, and also, if I remember correctly, because I'm getting my moving averages mixed up, the 20 simple is right up here as well. And I know there's one more that I'm forgetting. I get all these moving averages in my head, and I can't remember where they all are. I know there's a moving average here somewhere. Which one is it? This is what happens when you're live. You sometimes can't remember. I know there's a moving average right here. I don't remember what it's on. Am I thinking about the weekly chart? No, I'm not. I know there's another moving average just sitting right there. Anyway, there's another moving average that should be sitting around $10,600 that we're looking for support on. So I agree, yeah, that's a really valuable moving average. If you look at the 200 here on the 4-hourly chart, Bitcoin has been historically getting a lot of support on that. Let me go ahead and turn off our simple moving average just so we can look at that. Bitcoin has gotten a lot of support on this recently. Guys, these exponential moving averages are very powerful. The 20 is very powerful, but so too is this one. Look at how well defined these levels of support are on. Right there, right there, right back over here. That's definitely a moving average you want to add to your roster. Definitely one you want to look at. Let's see here, guys. It looks like the daily candlestick did close a little while ago. Let's go ahead and look at that. It closed about 8 minutes ago. And it looks like it did close bearish. Okay, that's unfortunate. We had a sort of an inverse bearish engulfing candlestick right here where we had our red and followed by a green that did not manage to come back up to it. That's not really looking all that great. These three candlesticks over here look pretty bullish. These three right here not looking as hot. Not very happy about that. That being said, this candlestick that closed did close above the open of the one previous to that, so that's a good sign. We saw the same thing happen over here. Hopefully we can have these candlesticks, this formation that we saw here, replay again with a green candlestick here over the next 24 hours and close tomorrow at this time in green and have that close higher than the open of yesterday that ended 10 minutes ago yesterday. Hopefully we can see something like that happen. Let's see here. 250 viewers. Yeah, we are sitting around 235, 240 right now. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis videos and daily live streams, more or less. So if you want access to those, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified as those come out. Really enjoying doing the live streams here, guys. Really happy with everything that's going on behind the scenes and on the channel. Really just having a pretty good day. How are you guys' videos doing? How are your videos doing, all my YouTuber friends? How is your day going? How are your trades going? How are you feeling? Is there anything you guys want to talk about in specific? Let's see if we can converse with that in the chat over here. Someone says, I think you have to draw the line at the end of the candles. I would say you normally would, but if you look in here, these candles, these are wicks that didn't happen in the span of like even 5 minutes. These are wicks on like the minute chart. If you come out here to the 5 minute, those wicks are in the exact same place. So I kind of drew them right here on the 5 minute chart earlier on in the live stream. I say price drop over $100 in a sec and jump up. Does it mean bulls are keeping price above 11.4? I think the bulls are trying very, very hard to keep the pressure up. And right now, when you're trading sideways like this after a major rally and you're expecting some kind of major move and it doesn't happen, a lot of time what that means is that there's a major war going on between the bulls and the bears underground, and you don't see it happening. And I have a feeling something like that is what's going on right now. Let's see here. What are your recommendations for the best place to trade with leverage outside the U.S.? Now, BitMEX is a pretty good exchange. I would check out BitMEX. And also, I've never used it, but I've heard good things about Bybit. It's a little bit of a newer exchange. You can look into them. I've heard good things about both of those exchanges. I'm obviously not going to tell you that I have an account on BitMEX because I don't want my account on BitMEX to get closed. But with all of that said, if you're looking for one outside of the U.S., BitMEX is one that I would recommend. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Where do you think a good long entry is? Good question. I would say that if we go ahead and check our volume here and we make sure that everything is tapering off the way that it should be with this consolidation pattern, which it definitely seems like it is, our volume is in general kind of trending to the downside here, that over the next 8 hours or so, we're probably going to see a breakout of some kind of this consolidation pattern. And when we do, should we break bullish, this may be a good position to open a long right here. Now, if you're going to open a long position right here, I would have a tight stop loss, and I would also take profits relatively quickly, so this might be something you want to do on high leverage if you know what you're doing. But I wouldn't stay in this position very long because Bitcoin on these shorter term time frames can have a breakout and be bearish once again 20 minutes from then. But there may be a good long position here around $11,450 if you can catch a bullish breakout here and ride it up maybe a couple $100, make a few percentage points off of that. As far as longer terms are concerned, I do think that there's probably a pretty good entry sitting up here around $12,400 if we can get up there. I've been talking about that trade for a long time, and I've been trying to make it, but Bitcoin does not want to cooperate with me, so we'll just have to see how that goes, guys. Volume coming to a trickle is a good indication of trend reversal. Yeah, when the market's just kind of not doing a whole lot, it's normally an indication that something big's about to happen. The market likes to have volatility, and when you see it do something like it did here coming into the end of 2018, there was probably something major going to come. Bitcoin's not just going to stagnate. There's all kinds of development going on in this space. There's all kinds of news happening. Bitcoin's not just going to die a slow, painful death. It's just not going to do that. How much do you need to move the market dramatically? That very much depends on the state of the market. You can move the market dramatically with $1 million. You could, and sometimes you might have to have $100 million to move it. It's gonna be a lot of money though, a whole lot of money, a whole lot more money than people think. I think Bybit's user interface is much cleaner looking and easier to use than BitMEX. Yeah, BitMEX does have a little bit of a convoluted user interface. I'll be honest with you. Let's see here, guys. Tell me in the chat if you are enjoying these Hangout live streams. Are you enjoying just sitting here and kind of chatting? Because I am really very much enjoying them. Love sitting here and hanging out with you guys. Like I said, guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and also make sure you hit that notification bell, guys, so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes out. Someone asked, are we going to see a $20 Litecoin again? That is going to depend very heavily on how altcoins react to Bitcoin. Guys, Bitcoin has been gobbling up all of that market dominance, sitting up here around 69%. Nice. And we are looking for that to start moving to the downside as an altcoin cycle may start to happen later on this year, moving on into the next year. If that does happen, we're probably not going to see a $20 Litecoin again. If we see Bitcoin go through its major bearish scenario, then perhaps we could see a $20 Litecoin. That's really gonna depend a lot on how the rest of the markets work. Make sure to do these live streams once Bitcoin breaks this year's all-time high. Absolutely, guys. I don't plan on stopping the live streams unless you guys stop getting interested in them, or if they, or the end of the year comes, because I'm not going to be able to do live streams every single day forever, but I will do it for as long as I possibly can. Opinionated advice, according to experience, is valued more. My input is amazing. Well, thank you very much. I like sitting here with Hubert, but someone used him for, well, let's not talk about it. Yes, I dipped my wonton in duck sauce earlier today, and it tasted very good. Like I said, I told my friend how they make duck sauce. They put a live duck in a blender and they turn it on, and then you get duck sauce. And you know, it's a cutthroat world out there, but it was good, and I am not going to complain because that was some good wonton and that was some good duck sauce. By the way, I have no idea how they make duck sauce. If anybody knows how you make duck sauce, I am interested to hear. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have my answer. My answer is that you put a duck in a blender. That's what as far as I'm concerned, that's how duck sauce is made. That's all I want to know. Aaron says, loving the live streams, chilling here at 2:15 a.m. in Norway. Shout out to Norway, guys. And shout out to the rest of the world, because a lot of the world is asleep right now. Most of us in here are probably Americano, watching the chart. Any tips for starting passive income such as Bitcoin? Sure. Unless you're doing mining, you're not going to get passive income in Bitcoin. Trading is not passive income. Investing is not passive income. Those are forms of investing. If you're working on passive income, my recommendation would be real estate. And that's honestly a completely different market than Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But if you want passive cash flow coming in, real estate's going to be where you want to go. Guys, billionaires are made all the time with real estate. If you want to be that far, if you want to like go all the way, go the distance, get into real estate, guys. It's you will make so much money in real estate. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you keep throwing money at that, you can make hundreds of millions of dollars doing that. New Man says, where are you, Jeb? I am sitting my butt down in Florida right now. So I very much stand by the idea that you need to have passive income as part of your financial status, because if you don't, and whatever business you have goes belly up, you're kind of screwed, because you can only live on cash forever. But if you have an endless supply of cash flow, like from real estate, then you'll be good for the rest of your life, and you can focus on things other than making sure that you don't become homeless. Everybody's giving me the... Everybody's telling me how to make just duck sauce now. That's amazing. Bitcoin's dead right now. Check back in 4 days or so. Not a whole lot going on right now. I'm really hoping that something crazy is going to happen. I was in Florida, Miami 2 weeks ago. If you were in Florida like that, then you were probably flying in, so you probably went through Miami International. If you were in Miami International, you will know how big that airport is. I had to run all the way across that airport in 8 minutes this time last month because I was flying in from Nashville, and I don't live in Miami. It was a layover. But I was taking a more regional flight to the smaller cities airport that I live in. I had to run clear across that airport because my layover was already cutting it close. It was like 20 minutes. And then we had a just a gigantic delay on our flight. And a lot of people almost missed the plane that I was on. I booked it across there. I have never run that hard in my life. You're in the Panhandle. I have a friend up in the Panhandle right now. I haven't been in the Panhandle in a long time. Bought house at $55,000 in 2016, sold a year later for $165K. Yeah, guys, the real estate market is ridiculous. I actually have, you guys can't see it, but one of the spreadsheets that I have up in my Google Drive is me just looking around on Zillow and calculating real estate return. Because the cash-on-cash return on some of the houses around here are ridiculous. I'm talking 30, 40, 50% a year. That is crazy how much money you can make in real estate. Well, I recently invested 50 in Bitcoin, just holding it. To be honest, I just have no clue what to do. I completely understand that. I remember when I was just getting started in the crypto space, learning how to work in these markets can be confusing. It can be really confusing. That's why we have the course here, guys. If you need guidance, I highly encourage you to check out the link in the description, because this right here, I'm going to tell you from someone who has had a lot of experience in this market, and people in this chat can tell you also, because there's a lot of students of the course in the chat right now. Having something like C22A to guide you and hold your hand through the very basics of the introductory stuff, like how to set up your TradingView account and support and resistance and all that stuff, all the way up through the more advanced stuff, this is worth every single penny. You can talk to people in the chat about that. I know we have some subscribers, some students in the chat right now. We don't have as many viewers as we do all the time, do sometimes, so we might not have anyone in the course right now, but you can join the Discord server, and there's a lot of people that are in the academy over there that you can talk to before you make your decision to jump on in. Panhandle here also. Everybody's telling me how to make duck sauce, guys. I'm very happy because I read some fortune cookies, and the fortune cookie, I don't know if you guys know, but fortune cookies actually have nothing to do with China. That's a Western invention as far as I'm aware. That's a completely Western thing. Completely forgot what gibberish the fortune cookie said. Investing in Bitcoin is the easiest thing to do in the world. Buy it and hold it. It's that easy. Investing in Bitcoin is very easy. Trading Bitcoin is ridiculously hard if you don't know what you're doing. I work for Zillow Group in Seattle. You can now sell to Zillow, buy from Zillow. Really? Zillow is actually... Huh. That's interesting. I have a question for you, Tyson. If you work at Zillow, how are those... how are Zestimates calculated? And how accurate would you say they are? Because a lot of the calculations I'm doing on my cash-on-cash return calculations are being done based off of the Zillow listings, and also based on the fair market values that you guys list based on the tax assessments. But I'm really curious how close you think those estimates are there. Fortune cookies were invented in New York. Old-timer Jimmy Mueller in the house. He says, "Hey, brother, what's going on, man?" Or says, "How's it going, man?" It's going pretty great. Can you please take a look at Monero, bro? I'm having issues with trying to read it. We'll look at it here in just a second. We actually looked at it in Saturday's live stream also, so we'll go ahead and check that out in a second. Before we do, Challenge Investor says, invest in yourself, folks, and 160 is less than one profitable trade. He's talking about the price of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. That's completely right. One profitable trade, or you can buy the course and learn how to do all that stuff, and you'll have that information forever. Guys, there's really no reason not to join us over here at the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. There are nearly 1,000 members here, and they're all happy with it, guys. You can come in here, just a random video. I'll pick one off the top of my head. How about this one? This is one of my favorite videos. I'll go ahead and look at this video. Let's read some of the comments here. Talking about Kraken. There's going to be a new video going up on Kraken for him. Great video, Jeb. Thanks to you, I've learned a lot. Great lessons here, says Evelyn. Richard Nolan, I remember this one because I think I showed this video on another live stream. He was asking about the road trip. That was when I was in Washington, D.C. Joseph says, thank you for the course. I would love to post your trades as well. That's something we're going to be doing in the future. Right now, I'm just kind of backing away, and I don't want to post all that on the internet because I don't want to paint a target on my back. Pascal says, great video. Thanks for this. We have Joe down here says, great video. So, guys, there's really nothing to lose. We do have a refund policy. But let's go ahead and catch up on chat here for a second, and I'm also going to go ahead and look at XMR for our friend Jimmy here in just a second. When using 5x leverage, if you don't want to lose more than $200 in the trade, you have to set a stop loss $40 below entry price. That is, in theory, the way it works. That is going to depend on, not exactly Victor Matos. I don't want to get into that right now. There's going to be a video on leverage trading and going over everything and calculating liquidation prices and everything in the course in probably a month or two. Someone asked the price of the course. The price of the course is $199. Let's see. Painting a house, better than listening to a podcast. Plus, it's live. Well, welcome. I'll give you a shout out. Guys, also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and also make sure we moon those likes. I do want to look at XMR here for Jimmy because XMR is a cryptocurrency I'm quite a big fan of, but I've been eyeing this 5-minute chart over the last few minutes because I was feeling like we were going to have a bearish breakout. We saw this little red candlestick right here. I want to see if anything develops on this. So we won't be looking at XMR right now. If I forget, because there's a pretty good chance I'm going to, Jimmy, remind me, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. Pizza was invented in New York also, yeah. Jimmy Mueller says course is worth every penny. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. What happened to the sound? Delilah Andre, welcome back, Delilah. Delilah's actually in the course also. You're charging $199 to existing member. No. If you're already in the course, you don't get charged a penny. If you bought the course, you have all current and future content. $199 is to join the course, and you get all current content and all future upgrades to the course as well. Is Coinbase a scam at this point? I wouldn't say Coinbase is a scam, but it's not. I think Coinbase is a great place for beginners to start. A lot of people rag on Coinbase, but at the same time, guys, Coinbase is one of the best user interfaces in the entire market. I mean, Victor Matos, it's not $199 to existing do you mean students? I'm not sure what you mean. Let's make sure. Okay, you got it. Okay, good. Oh, I see what happened. The live stream just hadn't caught up yet. Okay, it looks like Bitcoin's on a little bit of a bounce here. Guys, this is what I like to see. This is why I like live streaming this time of day, because Bitcoin likes to do crazy things. It's, like I said, it's because of my trading department. They're moving the markets. One way that you can get a lot of information out of a market, I'll go ahead and tell you guys about this, is when Bitcoin starts to have a big move like this, a big move to the downside. If Bitcoin has a big move to the downside and immediately breaks to the upside and then rallies beyond where it had that bearish breakout, clearly the bears were overextended. Clearly the bears thought they were stronger than they were. And clearly Bitcoin is quite a bit more bullish than they thought they were. That's definitely one of those little moments of clairvoyance, clarity that you can get from the markets. When you've had a massive crash and Bitcoin rallies farther than where it started, that's a big deal. I've used Coinbase for years now, never had a problem. Coinbase is great. I don't use Coinbase anymore because I made a second account on it, and they duped me, and they didn't. Well, see, I take that back. They didn't dupe me. They were like, hey, you can't have 2 accounts. I can't figure out the login for the other account, and frankly, I just didn't feel like contacting them and getting it fixed up, so I made a Kraken account, and it just so happens that's where I can do my leverage trading as well. Crypto Jeff, that dump got stuffed just now. Yes, it did. Bad news bears, Kelly Leak. Okay. Paul Lucas says, hey, Jeff, enjoying your daily videos. My wife sure says you talk fast. I can talk a whole lot faster, man. I slow itself down for the YouTube videos and also for accuracy. Your wife says I sure talk fast. Well, hello to your wife. Best thing I like about Coinbase is the Pro. You can send any coin anywhere for free. Never use Coinbase Pro because, like I said, I don't use Coinbase itself anymore. Hear good things about it. I hear a lot about it, actually. A whole lot of people use Coinbase Pro. We're going to have a reverse BART with a break to 12.4. 12.7, excuse me. Did you guys hear that? Was that thunder? What? Hang on a second. What was that? I feel like a giant just took my house and shook it. Oh, it is raining. Okay, it's raining. I was very confused there. It felt like a train just drove down my street. Could you guys hear that on stream? That was crazy. My whole house just shook like crazy. Oh, that was out. I live in Florida. I've never felt an earthquake before. That might have been. I was like, we having an earthquake? What in the world? Guys, I will be right back. My dog is acting like she needs out again, and I don't want her to. Well, you know, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, we are back. Ryder Millar says, Jeb is the only YouTuber I have to watch in one half to make it sound normal. It's funny you say that because when I watch the videos back, because I oftentimes like to watch them to see how the editing is going or how it turned out, because I never really see the final product since there's so many cuts in the videos nowadays with the new editing styles we're using. I watch it back in 2x speed, so everybody complains about me talking fast and 1x speed is too fast for them. And I watch it back in 2x speed, and I'm like, I wish this could go faster. I need this to the 2x speed is not fast enough. I find that so funny. Elon Musk supporting pro Bitcoin presidential candidate, but Elon Musk seems to be pretty bullish on Bitcoin. He seems to really like it. Sound like you had too many beans. I think Bitcoin's had too many beans. It's blasting off like a rocket ship here in the last couple of minutes, guys. It's just an asteroid flyby, no worries. Thunder rolls, dun dun dun. Dang it, I missed the dip, says Lee Toad. Well, guys, we may have to go ahead and wrap the stream up in about 10 minutes or so. I want to go ahead and look at Monero. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. Jimmy, give me a 1 in the chat or something to make sure that you are still here, because I'm doing this purely for you, my friend. Let me know if you're still in the chat. A lot of people talking about a major bullish move happening. We will see what happens here. This is while holding an entry position. Good. I think Jimmy's still here. Let's go ahead and jump on over to XMR. If you think Jeb talks fast, try watching The Modern Investor. Great guy, though. Jimmy is still here. I just saw him say something. So let's go ahead and look at XMR real quick. Jeb's voice breaks the sound barrier. I like the sound of that. Uh-huh. All right. So let's take a look at XMR. If you got... I assume you're talking about shorter-term TA on XMR, but I'm going to do some longer-term stuff, and I'll look at the shorter-term as well here. Guys, one of the things I really like about XMR, and you know that I haven't done TA on this in a while because these chart lines are the wrong color. These need to be blue because that will annoy me if they're not the correct color. We got like a color scheme going here nowadays. We got branding that we need to keep up with. We can't be doing that. Anyway, guys, XMR was rallying here for a very long time. We had this uptrend that it was respecting, and I was hoping that XMR would have a break upwards from here. I was looking into making some trades on this in the past, but I decided I wasn't going to because there were better opportunities. There were greener pastures. So I decided I wouldn't. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because XMR has been in a very long-term downtrend ever since about the beginning of 2018. This chart really kind of looks like the gold chart in that it takes a long time for things to happen. This is a very slow-moving chart because it's a relatively old cryptocurrency dating back into 2014. And it's actually one of the top 10 still. You can't really look and find very many cryptocurrencies that were in the top 10 and also are still in the top 10 or still relevant. Litecoin, XRP, Ethereum, those are pretty much the only cryptocurrencies that have been in the top 10 for a very long time, other than Monero. Monero's been in and out of the top 10. Right now it's sitting at 10. It's been down to like 20, 25. In general, I think it's a very well done cryptocurrency. I don't know everything about it, but I do think that it is a good solution to the privacy coin industry and that there's a lot of demand for that kind of thing. That being said, Monero, if the government does start cracking down on cryptocurrencies, privacy coins are probably going to be the very first ones to get a lot of the attention, because if you're going to launder money, if you're going to do illegal transactions, anyone who knows the first thing about Bitcoin is going to know that in fact transactions on the blockchain are not anonymous, but they are anonymous on something like Monero. So if you did want to do something illicit, you'd do it on Monero, you wouldn't do it on Bitcoin. Everybody knows that because of the way these cryptocurrencies work. So that being said, I'd be wary about having too much of my position in XMR for the long term because of that, because you could have some news story come out of left field all day long and have the cryptocurrency crash. But at the same time, if it does have does very well with the regulatory framework and it doesn't get cracked down on by the government, then it's probably going to do pretty well, because privacy coins are something that are going to become more and more important as there's more and more dissent among the population, combined with a greater adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies moving into the next decade, because there's a lot of instability in the world. You know, we had all this unity, or quote-unquote unity, in America after the September 11th attacks, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse ever since, because everybody's pointing the finger at everyone, everybody's blaming each other. With all that said, like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of XMR long-term, so long as something major doesn't happen in the events leading up to that. Now, with that said, let's look at the chart as well, because XMR has been in a very long-term downtrend here. And I think a lot of this probably has to do with just the general sentiment of the space. People aren't focused as much on the technology right now. It seems like they're focused more on the technical analysis and focusing on Bitcoin. I remember when I was getting into the space, two of the main things that were being covered on YouTube were not... Jeb, do you remember when Neil was AntShares? I do remember when Neil was AntShares. A lot of the people weren't talking about technical analysis like every YouTuber does now. They were talking about technology and they were talking about BitConnect. And those two things don't get talked about as much anymore because both of them are scams. No, I'm kidding. Only one of them is a scam. I'll let you decide which one's which. I'm a member of Kraken, but I've never used interesting levers. Is it fairly stable and secure? Good reputation? As far as I'm, yeah, I'd say it is. It's definitely reputable. Kraken is compliant and everything. As far as XMR is concerned, though, let's look at some technical indicators here, because I do want to give Richard some analysis here on this. One thing I will point out is that XMR is quite oversold on the RSI, but at the same time it's been down here for the last year. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a bottom in play, but it definitely has gone well into oversold territory 22. Right now the MACD does look like it's converging bullish on itself, but at the same time that's happened a couple times in previous history for XMR. So I'm not really happy about that. Jimmy says, so XMR not looking good then. I was kind of thinking maybe it was consolidating, maybe going to break up and go up. We'll look at some shorter term stuff. We'll look at some shorter term stuff right now. I'm not necessarily saying that. What the problem that I have with XMR is that it's been crashing a lot, and it just really hasn't piqued my interest because not a whole lot's going on with it, to be totally honest. As far as the chart's concerned, what I'm talking about is basically just been moving to the downside. There is a bit of a consolidation pattern I can see. If you guys have the chart vision like I do, then you can see this right here. We have a downtrend of resistance right there and an uptrend of support right there. That may be coming to a head here in the next couple of days. So if you are looking at XMR, watch out for that during the next week or so. There may be some kind of breakout forming here in the coming days. We're getting very close to the end of that. I'd be interested to see this. I might actually look into a trade on this since you bring it to my attention, because this does look like it's going to have a breakout. I may be looking to short this because XMR has been underperforming for a very long time, and in general, the trend is your friend. So I hope that did kind of answer some of your questions, Jimmy. I hope that helped. Right, that's what I was wondering. Honestly, that XMR trade that I was talking about, that XMR position, I'd be looking to short this. I might be wrong. This is the first analysis I've done on XMR short term in quite some time, so I might be wrong on this. Maybe this isn't a good idea to short. Make sure you do your own analysis, and of course I will before I do, but be careful for this, because this could be a short position just waiting to be cracked open. This is about a month-long consolidation pattern, and that could be a relatively large breakout. But anyway, guys, make sure you smash those likes if you are enjoying the live stream. And if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. I will give you a shout out if you hit that subscribe button, and I will welcome you, and you will join the crypto zombie horde, and we will take over Bitcoin, and we will take it to the moon with us and eat its brains while we go. Let's see here. Oh, boy. Guys, I am getting pretty tired, so I think I'm going to have to go ahead and wrap the live stream up here. I do have to get up early in the morning because tomorrow's video needs to be out relatively quickly because our editor, Taylor, has some stuff that she has to do in the morning. So guys, I think that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I do apologize for cutting it a little bit short. We're going to try and keep the live streams over an hour long for the remainder of the year. We're going to see how I am able to cope with that and if I'm going to be able to. But I think we're going to, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here, guys. It really helps out the channel, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of the videos. But guys, I'm going to go and get a midnight snack, and then I am going to crash because I have to get up and do a bunch of work tomorrow, guys. Great week. Looking forward to it. But I need to chill a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, guys. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching the live stream, as always, and tuning into the channel. And I will see you guys during the next live stream. Peace.